Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the IVES. This is their part number 8200 in a US3 in a 3x12. It's a push plate. This is what it looks like in its package. Let's take a closer look at what it looks like outside of its packaging. Here it is. So this is, just to clarify the obvious, this is some peel-away protective film that you see, that green sort of tint. Okay. This is an 8200, and 8200 means it's a push plate by IVES. It's also going to mean that it's 50 thousandths thick, 0.05 inch thick. It's going to mean that it's going to have the standard features of a push plate in terms of a pencil bevel that's on here. Not a heavy bevel, but just breaking the edge. I still wouldn't run my fingers or anything down across the edge of that. And we'll have just standard holes punched in the material. The 3x12 is obviously the size. Push plates are going to go by their width first, 3x12. A kick plate, interestingly enough, goes by the height first. So this is 3-inch wide, and it's 12-inch tall. And the 8200 series is available in different sizes. The common sizes would be 3.5 by 15 or 4 by 16. But then you have 6 by 16, 8 by 16, 3.5 by 12. And because this is just a flat piece of architectural metal, it can be cut to any size that you want. IVES can do that. But in their catalog, they're going to have standard sizes for you to choose from. Now, a 3x12, where would you use this? Let's talk about that now. Now, a very common application for this, and frankly likely the only application that you'll end up seeing this, is in a residential setting where you are literally going for a small amount of footprint taken on the door because you're probably restricted with how much stile width you have. The width and the height run together. So a 3-inch wide is 12-inch tall. A 3.5-inch wide is going to be longer. A 4-inch is going to be longer, generally. Now, there's no hard and fast rule. You can order the size, as I had said earlier just now, any size you want, but there is that relationship. Meaning, if you need 3-inch wide because you have a 4-inch style, you might want 24-inch long or 20-inch long because you have an 8-foot door or maybe something taller. You want that hardware to grow with the height as well. I had just said that the only time you're going to see this is etc., although that's almost the only time. There are commercial applications like restaurants that have double-acting doors, and they want just a small amount of hardware on the door, so you'll see it there. But the common application for a 3x12 is a door that may not be flush. It might be 10 light or 15 light or whatever it is, possibly narrower than average styles because it's either a door with lights or with panels. And it could be a kitchen to dining room where it's double acting. That's very common as well. Obviously, a push plate's going to be used in a door that doesn't have necessarily latching hardware on it. So that's really where you're going to see this, and that's where I expect you'll be bumping into it as well. This client ordered, indeed, 2 push plates, 8200 3x12 and a US3, and then a Bomber double-acting spring hinge. They're 7811 in a polished brass as well. Absolutely where I'd expect to see this. Fasteners are included. That should be like a number 6 by 3/4 or so oval head. Sheet metal screw is what that is. Every push plate, pull plate, kick plate, they'll include standard fasteners. Let's switch to the screen view now and let's take a closer look at all of the supporting information. If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it. Okay, here's the item that we are looking at, 8200 US3, 3x12. The US3 is a reference to the old, well, still in use, but it is an old system. It's about 90 years old, the US system of determining finishes. Many manufacturers who have been around since well before the establishment of that US system in the very early 1930s, like IVES, still use that US system. That does mean polished brass. The shortcoming of the US system versus the BHMA system is it doesn't tell us the base material. In BHMA, this would be a 605, because that would still mean polished brass, but it would tell us the base material is brass as well. Okay. Installation instruction here, not much to talk about, except it is important to look at that 3/4 inch. Here's why. If you have a door, you have a door jamb, applied stop, you get the point. Well, the projection of this stop is going to be 1/2 inch. Some people will run, well, actually that's drawn quite awful. To actually be much more like this. Some people will run that plate all the way to the edge of the door. Well, the problem is you've got your head of your screw in the way, so that's why they're telling you that. You don't have to follow that, but a reason that they're putting that there is for that purpose. 50 inch from bottom of door to the center of the plate, yeah, that would be pretty typical. 4 foot to the center line, something in that range is where you'll be for a standard push plate. You know, your mileage may vary. You might, live with unusually short or unusually tall people, and you might tweak that a little bit. But IVES has been in business since the 19th century, so experience probably tells them that that's a good number, that 50 inch. This installation instruction is a really old document. Not really old, but it's an old document, probably from the 90s would be my guess, or it could be the 80s. Drill a 7/64 bit Phillips screwdriver, and pencil will be the tools required. You're going to want to probably use a torpedo level to make sure you get that level on the door. Don't eyeball it. If you've got a long hallway, you'll see it if it's not true plumb level and square. Then there's a link to the product brochure as seen here. I click on that pretty quick. This is going to allow us to see the different standard sizes with a reference to special sizes as available. They can certainly do preparations for cylinders. Where you're going to see that often is in a school restroom where there's a classroom function deadbolt, meaning you can't lock it from the inside, you can only unlock it. And those push plates, those pull plates, they'll very commonly need to be prepped for a cylinder, something to come through the trim hardware itself. So that's where you'll see that. And they have the CFC and the CFT as standard cutout information, but again, anything can be done. Other pulls are here, other items that are associated to that 8200 are here just because they're attached. Now, there's a link below this video as seen here to the manufacturer's page. And when you click on that, you'll be able to pull up the manufacturer's page. While that loads, let's look at the photographs that we have here. There's the label. There's the contents. Peeling away that protective film. A close-up view of it. Small little pencil bevel here, or just a wipe, or maybe a swipe. Wipe or swipe, I'm not sure. Just broken, just an eased edge. That's all it is. They can do a heavy bevel on this material as well, but you'll generally see that on their plates that are 0.125 thick. Then your fastener package. Not only are they oval head, as I said earlier, but they're undercut head as well. That allows this head to sit more flush on a thin piece of material. Now that link here to the manufacturer's page, that page would have loaded, and here it is. From this page you can take a look at all of the IVES products that we sell by means of this horizontal navigation, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the manufacturer's full-line catalog, other encyclopedic documents as it pertains to IVES, and also for fun, a couple of quite old catalogs, 1896 and 1904. And if you dive into those catalogs, you're certainly going to see a lot of window hardware. IVES was most certainly known primarily in the trade as window hardware. Back in the early 90s, even in a very occasional stint in the very late 80s, when someone would ask for IVES, they were usually asking for sash lifts or sash locks, is probably what they were after. Not always, but a good tip. You look at those catalogs that are, turn of the 20th century, you'll see it's almost all window hardware. Let's wrap up this video on camera. If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it. In conclusion, if you have any questions on the IVES 8200 or any other flat goods material, push plates, kick plates, any trim and auxiliary, let us know. IVES is today known as a company that's going to supply you with your hanging devices, hinges, pivots, aluminum continuous geared, pin and barrel, obviously all the flat goods material and door control devices, stops, whatnot. a variety of items in the IVES catalog today that you will not see even 30 years ago. Namely the hinges. Under the Allegiant umbrella, they're that company, and IVES sister companies would be Schlage, LCN, Von Duprin, Glenn Johnson, Falcon, Zero. So under Allegiant, you've got a complete offering of everything you need to hang the door. And IVES is literally the hang the door part of the hang the door is what they do. Excellent technical support at IVES. I rarely need to speak to them because it's trim and auxiliary, but their crash chain, their CS115, if you look at that installation instruction or template, it's mind-boggling what they're going for with that, and I did have to call them. And I've spoken to them, of course, about their CL11 and 12 series touch latches, which used to be Glenn Johnson, another sister company. They're BB and AA touch latches as well. It's a culture of excellence in terms of tech support over there, so don't hesitate to feel comfortable in the fact that if there is a technical question, the people at IVES will see it through. Any questions on the 8200 or any other IVES product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you. Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.